I lost contact with the guy, pare. Matagal na,
Mm.
pare. So, but Johnny Kawa is still very, very active in Cebu. He does other things now, pare. The last time I saw him was like mga 2012, mga ganon. He was with Bigfoot Entertainment, pare. Now I
Uy,
don't really
naalala
know
ko
what
yun,
he
ah,
does.
Bigfoot.
Yeah,
Parang naririnig yun
it's
before, ah.
they train you to be like if you wanna be involved with movie production,
Mm.
you want to be a director, pare. You want to do movie scoring, man. So it's one one entertainment empire for that, pare. So
Pero Cebu-based yun.
Cebu based, but actually I think they're based in Mactan, sa Lapu-Lapu City, pare.
Alam ko kasi meron na silang bagong facility ngayon na parang world
Yeah.
class na, 'di
Oh,
ba?
okay. Well, yeah, yeah, that's what they advertise. You don't have to go abroad to become a director. You
Mm.
can, you
Oo.
know. So going back, I went to the production room and I was
Mm.
meeting with Big Ron, and he tested my skills. I did some ad libs, and then one thing that kind of floored me, Pare Joy, was that he asked me to talk about a fire extinguisher for 1 hour, Pare. Okay, what the fuck am I gonna say about a fire extinguisher, man?
Hindi
So I was
nga,
like,
talaga.
is this
So
guy?
yun yung audition mo.
Yeah, this guy is this guy for
Putang
real?
ina, ang hirap nun, ah.
'Di ba? Hirap talaga, 'di ba? Like he said, I'm gonna give you 1 minute to think, pare, and after that minute is over, you have to talk about that fire extinguisher. So I go, okay, man. All right. So I did, and they were recording it
Mm.
because and he said he was going to explain why he told me to do it.
Oo.
And yun, pare. So the reason for that, pare, was you have certain songs that have long intros, and sometimes a radio DJ is required to talk over those long intros. And
Kaya.
if you can talk about a
Oo.
fire extinguisher for 1 hour, para yung adlib mo ng 1 minute, pare, well, it's, di
Puno na
ba?
yun. Mm.
And like sometimes, like when I do shows, but I mean live shows, you're on stage, you're facing people,
Mm.
pare, and the technical director's like telling you, Ramon, stretch it, pare.
Oo,
We got
oo,
some
oo.
technical problems. Wala pa yung banda, may problema sa amp, pare.
Tama,
'Di
tama.
ba? You
Gets ko
know?
yung sa ano, gets ko yung sa live setting 'pag hosting.
Yeah.
Pero ngayon ko lang narinig, gano'n pala yun, kaya pala
Some
nagsasalita kayo kahit na intro.
oh,
Kasi kung minsan 'di ba nagre-record kami, i-record,
yeah.
eto na Black Sabbath, re-record. Shit, nagsasalita pa rin yung DJ. 'Di ba?
My
Kaya
Kasi
kaya
puro
pala,
puro puro cartridge operation kami sa Y101, no? Hindi kami gumagamit ng plaka, pare. We didn't use records, man. I mean, backup lang yan, pare. Wala pa yung
mm,
CD, bro. This was 1985. The CD came out in 1986, which we also
oo,
pioneered, pare, back in Y101. And
mm.
um, we had a timer, and in the cartridge, on the cartridge, it's written kasi how long we can talk before the vocals come out, pare. So sometimes we would
Okey.
want to talk, and not only that, it will also some radio stations would record our songs, pare, because we were the first
Hmm,
ones to play the songs.
oo.
The other stations are all payola, pare. When you have payola, pare, when you have record labels controlling your playlist, man, you can't
Mm.
really play the latest songs, pare.
Hindi na ata
But
alam
but
pa kaya ng mga kids ngayon yan, payola?
no, they don't know what
Hindi na
payola
nila
is.
alam.
Payola is an unholy alliance from a record label
And
to
then
the
the
radio station when they give you
tama,
something under the table to play their products, man, their
tama.
artists. And
Yep.
as a radio DJ, I have never received 1 cent from that thing that destroys playlists, that destroys
Yeah.
programming, pare. That is from my radio DJ
Mm,
side, pare. I'm against it,
mm.
pare. I mean, bro, I played your songs. Did I ever ask you to pay me to play your song, pare?
Hindi, gulat nga kami.
Nothing, man. Nothing. I play your songs. Your songs were good, man. They were good songs, and the public deserve to hear those songs, pare. Or they're based on charts, pare. Diba?
So, nasa Cebu ka nun, tas
Yeah,
dun ka kumbaga dun mo hinasa yung craft mo as a radio personality before ka
yeah.
nag-move to Manila.
Before sa Manila, I was with Y101 for 2 years, and then
Saglit
my
lang.
dad transferred. Pare. He was like the manager of one of the companies that from Manila. He was the manager of the Cebu office. So he was
Mm.
getting promoted to vice president
Mm.
in Manila. So we
Mm.
moved to Manila in 1987, pare. You know.
Wow.
So I remember, I, of course, I wanted to continue as a radio DJ. The next
Mm.
step was how to penetrate 99.5 RT, pare, which is a sister station of Y101. I
Mhm.
mean,
So, ano nangyari?
Y101, syempre, you know, same owner, pare. So you know the owner
Mm.
na. So
Mm.
the process of going to entering RT was easy. I was in RT like a week after I landed in Manila, pare. I was on the air already
Oh.
that fast, man.
Tapos
You
gaano ka
know, but
katagal sa RT?
I was with RT for a year, pare.
Before
From
naging LA?
1987 to 1988. No, I wala pang LA, pare. LA was not even
Mm.
on the air, man.
Oo.
Um, I don't think LA 105.9 was just not even a frequency. There was no radio station occupying
Oo,
that
alam ko kayo
frequency,
yung
pare.
una,
Wala.
eh, 'no, sa
Yeah,
105, eh.
yeah. So um I was with RT for a year, and then the
Mm.
call from one of RT Jock, which I really looked up to as my mentor, was his name was Bob Magoo. Okay,
Mm.
and Bob Magoo was in RT, and the first time I meet Bob Magoo in RT, I'm like, shit, man, this is the guy I listened to when I was in Y101, man.
Oo.
This is the guy that was like, you know, very good.
Idol,
He's a
kumbaga.
rock jock, but I mean, I
Mm.
idolized a lot of jocks, but this is one of the guys that kind of shaped my sound, man. You know,
Mhm.
so I met him in RT, and then he left and he joined DZRJ, the Rock of Manila. The Rock of Manila was coming back,
Yeah.
and I've always
Sila
wanted to
Howling
be a
Dave,
rock.
'no?
Yeah, Howland Day was there.
Oo, sila
I
Howling
always
Dave.
wanted to be a rock jock, pare. It was my dream, you know,
Oo.
to rock the airwaves. But my mom was telling me, why are you going to leave RT, which is the established station? It was your dream to enter this radio
Mm.
station. It was not easy for you, pare. And
Oo.
then to go to a rock station, and then it's AM, pare. It's AM for my mom. It's talk, it's news, pare.
Oo.
You know, and
Parang
for some
bakya kumbaga,
people,
eh, 'no?
AM is, yeah, it's backyard, dude. But you're gonna go to AM, it's
Oo,
mono,
tatagapon.
maraming static. And then my mom
Tama,
goes,
tama, tama.
yung stasyon na yan, puro mga addict, pare, di ba? Puro mga, mga
Oo nga. Oo
lasinggero,
nga.
di ba? Huwag
Oo,
ka
tama.
magpunta diyan, pare, kasi
Mga
maiiba talaga
Jeprox,
yung
eh, puro
buhay mo,
Jeprox.
pare. No, puro Jeprox, pare, di ba?
Mm.
So I said, Mom, I'm still young. I'm not married. I have a place to live. If anything happens, now is the time to test it.
Uh-huh.
So I went to RJ, man. It was a call to arms. Magoo said and it was my dream. So 1988, I became a rock jock, man, for the Rock of Manila. Pare. I was there with Howlin' Dave and Bob Magoo. It was built around that lineup. Some other guys who were there was Charlie Y of NU 107, Charlie
Right.
Ismail of the voice of the breed.
The Breed. Mm.
Yeah, wala pang breed that time, pa. It was called R&R, man. He was in a band called R&R.
R&R. Oh.
Yeah, with Warren Norton of KO Jones, pare. And Charlie Y was not known as Charlie Y. His name was Purple Haze. Hayes, Hayes, pare.
Ah,
Okay,
okay. Okay.
Hayes, man. I wish he stuck with that name because it sounded more rugged, but that was a nice name. I was there
Mm.
also with a female jock. Her name was Baba Balse, but she used the name November 27 on the radio. I
Mm.
was there with the Ayatollah, pare. Do you know who the Ayatollah is?
Narinig ko yung Ayatollah pero hindi ko siya kilala.
Di mo kilala? Kilala mo
Hindi.
yan, pare. Pero wala na
Sino?
siya dito, pare. Nasa langit na yon, pare. Si Domeng ng Tropical Depression,
Ah,
Betrayed,
siya ba
pare.
yun?
Siya
The
yun, pare.
Ayatollah?
Yeah.
Oo nga eh.
He was
R.I.P.
and then we had Skinny Ziggy, which is Pocholo Concepcion. He's a music writer for the Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Mm.
So that was our lineup for DZRJ. Once in a while, Jeremiah Jr. of RT would join us because he was with
Mm.
DZRJ FM. And when
Ah.
he wanted to, makulit yun, pare. So he would come to the AM side and we would put him on the air. And he said, puta, idol ko to, pare, sa RT, pare, si Jeremiah Jr. Magaling yun, pare. Very
Oo.
good, man. I'll never forget that guy, pare. Because when I was young, I would see him. I saw him one time in the Manila Polo Club, pare, and he was drunk. He was sleeping on a one of this, those, you know when you go sunbathing, pare, di ba?
Oo.
I was trying to throw tissue paper in his mouth, pare. And then later on I would I got to work with the guy. I mean the guy's very
Oo.
good, but Jeremiah Jr. But I'll never forget him because this guy kept me in the studio, pare, for like so long to say one word, man. It was
Hmm.
he got me to do a commercial for Valvoline. It's a motor oil. I'll never
Oo.
forget this, bro. I gave him over 70 takes, pare, just to voice over that one word, pare. Valvoline, Valvoline. No, Ramon, Valvoline. And then I wanted to take a break, but I told him, Jerry, I want to drink some water. He would not make me drink water, pare, because it would change the texture of
Oo.
my voice,
Tama,
pare.
tama. Kailangan
You
maging
know?
rough lalo, eh.
Oh,
Oo.
rough, pare.
Kaya
And,
matuyo.
so I had to tell him, look, man, I can't do it any better. You got 70 takes there. I mean, if you can't use it, then just find another talent, man, because I can't do it better. But bro, I was very young. I was what, 18, 17 at that time. But it's
Hmm.
not easy to live up to what the legends are doing. They're in a different in a different
Oo.
tier, a different level, pare. We were just new, pare, learning the ropes, man. Not easy, pare.
Tsaka sikat na sikat mga DJs dun kasi sila
Oo,
talaga yung
pare.
ano, parang artista rin yung mga yan, celebrity rin pag ano, eh,
Kasi
'no?
back then, pare, when you listen to the radio DJ, there was the
Oo.
mystery, pare. You don't see
Mystery,
the face, diba? And then the magic comes out of the box, pare, diba?
Tama, tama, tama.
So I was with DZRJ Joy for a year, and it got turned over to the Christians. It was not probably making money, but it's
Hmm.
hard to sell a music station in AM, pare. So
Oo.
the Christians took over, and then I went back to RT, pare. I was at first I said, I didn't want to go. It was the pride, pare. I can probably go to another radio station, but went back to RT in 1989, pare. Emilio Tuason accepted me back like a prodigal son. So I was with RT for another year, pare. You know,
Mm.
and then I went to LA 105. LA 105 was a top 40 station, but that time I was already married, pare. I had a child. The offer was very good. They were going to pay me twice what RT could
Mm.
give me. So I said,
Oo.
I left because of that. If
Pero
I was
bago pa lang yung
still
105 nun. Bago pa
bago
lang.
pa 105, yung
Oo.
programming top 40 din, pare.
Mm.
And then nasunog yung LA, pare.
Ay,
After a
talaga
couple
ba?
of months, nasunog yung LA, pare. So it was beside it kasi, puro mga radio station doon, no, sa Philcomsen building. There were like 8
Oo.
radio stations there, pare.
Mm.
And
Mm.
beside LA 105, pare, was a disco.
Okay.
Okay, there was a disco right on top of the building, pare.
Sa Philcom
So
Sen.
that's
Mm.
a Philcomsen, pare. So a disco bar, pare. And we felt that the owners wanted to get back their money, pare. So they set it on fire, pare. And of course, it affected
Arson.
our studios. Yeah, parang arson, pare. To collect insurance.
Eh.
Because wala. I mean, who puts a freaking disco on top of a building that's offices, pare, radio
Oo.
stations? I mean,
Oo.
who would do something like that, pare, di ba? Doesn't
Hindi,
make
pero
it.
ngayon norm na yun.
Well, probably, yeah, maybe
Oo.
now,
Di
but
ba?
back then it's like, I mean, I didn't even
Oo.
go. I mean, I don't really go to discos either, pare. Death before
Sabagay.
disco, man. Okay.
So ano, after masunog, lumipat ng location yung station or dun din lang?
Lumipat,
Nag-stay
hindi
lang?
lumipat yung stasyon, lumipat yung floor, pare.
Okay.
From the
Okay.
top floor, we went down to the 15th floor. We were beside WKC
Oo.
and WSM, pare. So I had to see those radio DJs once in a while because we would ride on the same elevator, pare.
Elevator.
Yeah,
Oo.
so I mean, I had cordial relationships with them, pare.
Oo.
On the air, it's. I mean, we compete on the air, but when we're in the elevator, we get to talk. I got to meet guys like Bobby Ante, pare,
Oo.
Rene Santa Cruz of DCXL, pare. Joe P. Gutierrez, who was the manager of SM that time,
Oo.
WSM, and even Joe the Mango, pare. Yeah, because he
June
was with
Mango.
TM. He was upstairs, man. So, you know, I got to meet the other, DJs from other radio stations as well, pare.
So after masunog, nag-iba na yung format nung station, nung LA.
No, it took us mga 2 years to get off the air, pare.
Matagal din, no?
2 years, pare, kasi you have
Pero
to
kasi
buy
ano
the
no?
equipment.
Sobrang laki ng impact nung LA 105 eh.
Yeah, pero that was a pop station. Bumalik kami like after a year, maybe a year and a half, but on a very low frequency, pare. It was like
Oo.
I remember the management buying the transmitter of
Oo.
the Far East Network Philippines. Far East Network Philippines was the Armed Forces Radio of the
Oo.
United States, pare.
Oo.
So we had their low-powered mono, pare,
Oo.
backup transmitter, pare. Okay, bro, this was like,
Oo.
I mean, this is like pirate radio, man. I mean, you don't put something that's like less than 500 watts, pare, when everybody's
Ay, ganun?
broadcasting.
Sobrang baba
Yeah,
nga nun.
pare,
I was
500 watts. I think it was even
ina-expect ko
250
mga at least
watts.
mga 5,000 or 2,000
Wala,
watts.
dude. No, man. Nothing, pare.
Pucha!
So it's like,
So, ano
nasa
yung reach
ere
nyo
ka,
nun?
pero sino nakikinig sa'yo, pare, di ba?
Hindi.
So,
Paano yung reach nun? Gaano
wala,
kami?
man. Pare, maybe from Philcom Sen, probably to, maybe to Bonnie
Mandaluyong?
Avenue, pa.
Ano yun? Okay.
Parang DZUP yung transmitter, low power,
Sa
pare.
UP. Oo.
Di ba? May
Mm.
radio station sila, di ba? So,
Ah.
we were using we were employing the classical and a bit of world music, no? Middle of the road format. So you would hear your orchestras, you would hear your Matt Monroe's, your Frank Sinatra. Once in a while, you replay some Spanish stuff like Trio Spancho, some Brazilian stuff, Saitano,
Oo.
I forgot the name, Saitano Veloso, pare. Los Trios Panchos, Los Trini Lopez, that stuff, pare. And
So, kumbaga, noon pa lang, obscure na. Obscure na yung format, kumbaga.
well, my market naman yan, pero it's not what I wanted to do. And the guy who was with me, the station manager, was the ghost, pare, And I was telling the ghost, it's like, man, I don't know if I can hang on doing this stuff. I mean, classical is nice. It's not bakya or anything, but I'm not the guy for that, pare.
Tama.
I mean, this is
Hindi
what
ko
my
ma-imagine yung boses mo. Next is back.
pare,
Concerto in E flat. Hindi ko ma-imagine yung boses mo.
Dude, I mean, we had to sound professional. We just sounded formal and everything, pero less personality oriented. You just talked about the music, you talked about a bit of trivia about the songs, but it was really boring and it's a very sleepy format. I'm not saying it's bad. It's that I'm just not the right guy for that, man. So after like 2 years, like when our new transmitter arrived, pare, we decided to use a world music format, pare. This was back in 1992, man. So when I heard world music, that was the time Ed Formoso. We were talking again. Ed Formoso is an old friend, and he's a legendary music producer, pare. Yeah.
Siya yung producer natin nun di ba?
Yes, pare.
Di ba?
Yeah. So Ed Formoso was there, so I was able to bring him in first as a music consultant, and one thing with Ed is that what was why I got along with him very well is because for me it was always about playing the Pinoy musician, the Pinoy artist, the Pinoy band on the air, man. It was important for me because you can play all this stuff that from other countries, but you think they really care if you play them? They don't care. They don't even know you're playing their songs, pare. Diba?
Mm.
But you're
Mm.
local. You support your local artists, man, and you will go
Tama,
forward
may
that way,
connection kasi.
pare. Kasi
May connection kagad.
nandito
Mm.
lahat sila, pare. And
Mapapanood mo live eh. Oo. Di ba?
so there, that's what started everything, man. The whole thing, pare. Ed Formoso coming in, joining us, and then we had high form. I mean, our transmitter was we had a 25,000 finally
Wow.
stereo,
Wow.
pare.
Ah, ah.
So before that, they asked me to assemble the DJs already.
Okay. So ikaw
Yeah, we
yung
had
nag-handpick ng mga DJs?
we hunted the DJs down, pare. So it was me, the Ghost,
Astig!
and Ed Formoso. But it was a lineup
Mm.
that I drew up that I wanted to go on the air because
So
back in our
lahat na napili mo nakuha mo?
um most of them, most of them,
Talaga.
yeah. I the first I had to really the first one I got was Mike Bennett, pare.
Okay.
He passed away like 10 years ago, but this guy was a
Mm.
very good radio DJ. I met him in 99.5 RT. He was also a DZRJ, pare.
Mhm.
He's a very good radio jock. He was available, so I wanted to get him, and then I got this guy who was funny, pare. His name was Don Ocano, pare. He was an
Mhm.
American DJ for DZRJ, pare.
Mm.
His name was Don Murray, pare. But, he used the name Don Ocano. So I asked him, bakit yung pangalan mo Don Ocano? Parang medyo baduy, pare, di ba? No, kasi Ramon, ganito, pare, yung Don Ocano, kasi kung bago pa ako sa Pilipinas, pare, ang daming mga, alam mo naman, yung mga bata, di ba?
Oo.
Sinasabi sa akin, pare, Don Ocano.
Oh, so basic lang. Nag-stick ayos ah.
Nag-stick, so Don Ocano na lang, pare. So,
Mm.
okay, sige. Whatever floats your boat, man. So those were the DJs that we started out with for world music. We wanted some veterans, pare, and so
Mm.
because with veterans, although you have to pay them higher, but you don't have to train them so much, man.
Tama,
They know what to
tama.
do already,
Yeah.
pare.
Kumbaga hit the
And,
ground running.
yeah.
Mm.
The thing with Don Ocano was that he had problems pronouncing the Filipino names, pare.
Okay.
Okay, the not just the Filipino names, he also had problems talking about pronouncing the other artists that have that are not Pinoy, pare. I like Spanish artists, Latin artists.
Okay. Mm.
So we compromised on that because even I would have a problem with that.
Mm.
But
Mm.
wag lang yung Filipino, pare, di ba?
Oo.
So sadly, we had to let him go. And I told him, I'm sorry. He goes, I'm an American. And he says, it doesn't matter if you're an American, but you can't pronounce the Filipino words. You can't pronounce the titles. Your intonation
Mm.
is wrong, man.
Oo.
It's not even the
Tama.
grammar, it's the pronunciation. Because
Mm.
if I did this, if I worked in the States and I started pronouncing the American names the way you pronounce the Filipino names, do you think you're going to put
Yeah.
me on the radio? No, you're
Tama.
not going to put me
Tama.
on the radio. So why should I bend and put you on when you can't even pronounce?
Oo.
And the bulk of our playlist was slowly getting Filipino infested, pare, because
Oo.
of Ed Formoso. We were
Oo.
playing 6 Filipino songs in 1 hour, pare. That was a lot, man. So it was hard because he's a nice guy, pare.
Mm.
Um, so we were with that format for like a year and a half, and then para mahirap magbenta yung world music dito sa Pinas, pare.
Mm.
It was not easy. You're talking about eclectic, esoteric, eccentric
Oo.
music, man.
Mm.
How can you sell something like that? Even
So mga
even the Philip even the most Filipinos could not even understand the songs we were playing, pare. I mean, our playlist was deep. Joey Ayala at ang Bagong Lumad, Grace Nono,
Mm.
Edru
Yeah.
Abraham at Kontra Gapi, pare Pen Pen,
Oo.
Asin, pa
Oh,
Local
siya kontra
Brown,
gabi, no? Naalala ko yan.
pare, 'di ba? Patatag,
Oo.
pare, 'di ba? Ang
Patatag.
bigat, pare.
Mm.
Yung foreign mo mabigat, yung Pinoy mo mabigat din, pare. So,
Oo.
ang hirap, So it was, we decided to venture into something we know what we could deliver, man. And that was rock, pare.
Mm.
I mean, everybody was rock in that station. Ed Formoso was rock. I was rock. The Ghost came from WXB. That guy was a
Oo.
punk, man.
Yeah.
So,
Oo.
so we decided to venture into the rock domain, pare. And of course, I had to find another set of radio DJs to get the job done, pare. So we had to get a mixture of the new, the known, and the legends, okay?
Mm.
So we wanted to hire one legends. Three names were available. There were Howlin' Dave, Cousin Hoagie, and
Mm.
Bob Magoo.
Mm.
The choice came down to Bob Magoo because Bob Magoo is someone we've worked with in the past. So we
Mm.
were already, you know, used to his
Oo.
ways, man, his character
Oo.
defects.
Oo. Oo. Kumbaga jive na kayo. Kasi mahirap na rin kunin si Howling Dave nun. Parang ingrained na siya sa RJ na
Oh,
brand talaga eh. Yung
yes.
panahon na
And,
yun, di
and
ba?
and Cousin Hoagie is a great jock, but we just felt his style was just too laid back.
Oo.
Bob Magoo could give us the radio and he could
Oo.
do production because he's got a fantastic voice, man. He's got the
Na-meet
best
ko pa yon
voice.
si Cousin Hoagie.
Si Cousin Hoagie,
Before
oh,
pandemic.
galing yun, pare. Oh,
Oo.
nice guy, man. Always listened to him before, man.
Kaso
He's
ngayon
is
wala
he
na rin
still
yata eh, no?
is he still on the radio? Sa Jam 88.3, pare? Wala na, man.
Parang wala na. Kasi ang aga nagsasara ng ano eh, ng jam eh. 10 o'clock yata, wala na yung jam eh. Nag-sign off na sila.
10 o'clock they sign
Actually,
off.
oo,
10
simula nung
p.
pandemic. 10.
Wow.
Kung minsan nga 8 eh. Alam ko 8 minsan eh. Parang wow. Nag-drive ako, nawawala na yung sa... Oh,
That's
saan
really
na?
sad, man. You sign off at 8 or 10 p.m. at night. You got no jam, pare.
Yun nga eh. Kaya si Cousin Hoagie, di ba? Alam mo naman yun. Mag-i-start
Midnight,
yun,
pare.
11, 10 hanggang
11
alas
oh,
2.
gabi, pare.
Di ba?
Yeah.
Kaya yun nga, wala na yata si Cousin Hoagie.
So
Yeah.
so Bob Magoo, I found him and I had a hard time finding this guy, pare. Alam mo, he moved to Laguna. I lost contact with this guy for like 2 years, pare. You
Mm.
know, I didn't know where he lived, pare. I didn't have his phone number. Finally, I got an address from our old technician of DZRJ. Gave it to me, pare. So I went to hunt him down with the ghost, pare. And alam mo, yung mga address sa Laguna, pare, Block 4, Lot 2, Street. And I was like, shit, man, we couldn't find the place, pare. Ang gulo. And then, alam mo naman, pare, yung mga tao dyan, yung mga standby, pare, kung hindi mo alam yung lugar, pare, sabihin mo na
Mm.
lang, pare. Wag mo, di ba, like, dyan, o sometimes, pare, alam mo na, dito, pare, sa Pinas, pare, di ba? Bunganga lang, di ba? Di ba? Kung malapit, ganun lang. Kung
Point lang
malayo,
eh.
ganon, di ba?
Ngunguso lang eh, no?
So
Ang kulit.
we were at the verge of giving up until we passed by a house, pare, that had a stock of boxes na tanduay, pare.
Mhm.
So I said, putang ina, pare, anong klaseng bahay ito na maraming tanduay? Wala namang sari-sari store na malapit, pare, di ba?
Ah.
So the only guy I know who drinks this much tanduay is Bob Magoo, pare. So I got down the car, I rang the doorbell. He came out, pare. And he was like, he saw a ghost when he saw me, like, Ramon, what are you doing here, man?
Wala na siya sa radyo no nung time na
Wala sa
tinawagan
radyo,
ka.
but of course,
Okay.
when you're going to war, pare, you need to select the best
Oo.
people, pare, who can get the job done, man. We're not here for a short time. We're here for the long haul, pare.
Mm.
So you got to get every renegade jock, pare, out there, man. because we were there to deliver God's justice through rock and roll, man, the power of rock and roll, pare. So
Nag
when you,
uh,
pare, when you say Pinoy rock, pare, you got Howlin' Dave and you got Bob Magoo, pare. Getting
ah,
Bob Magoo, pare,
mm.
was the first thing on my list because the lineup will be built around him, pare. Okay,
Oh,
all
still.
right. He was like the LeBron James, pare.
Oo,
Okay, all right.
oo.
So you needed that guy, man. That was the legend, pare. So I talked to him, and there was just one condition he gave me. He wanted his blues program back, pare.
Hmm,
And of
okey.
course we gave him back the blues program, of course.
Gabi din
And
'yun 'no?
then we got Cool Carla after that.
Oo,
Cool Carla was of Maria's Mistress, Identity
mm.
Crisis, pare.
Identity crisis, oo.
And then I asked Charlie Ismael if he wanted to join us. Charlie Y. I said, "Hey, Charlie, join us, man. This is the
Oo,
station to be in, pare. Okay?
oo. Pero
Huh?
nandun siya sa kabila nun, eh, 'no?
Oh,
Nung time
pare, you
na
keep
yun.
playing all that Pogi rock, man. Come on, join us, pare. Huh?
Oo nga.
Masyado kang
Kasi
mapogi. Pogi
yung
ka na,
istasyon
pare.
nila ano,
Huh?
yung istasyon nila yun yung parang kumbaga yun yung mga English speaking na
Yeah,
tisoy.
exactly.
Tapos
Yeah,
pagdating yung LA, eto yung ano, eh, parang shit, eto dito ako. Kasi
pare,
nandito yung mga tain.
the thing NU was a damn good radio station.
Hmm,
The thing with NU that time, pare, was that the Pinoy had to sound like an American, pare, based on the
para
song
mapatugtog.
release.
Para
Yeah, so
mapatugtog.
less Tagalog, pare.
Mm,
Eh
oo,
tayo, pare, walang pakialam kung Bisaya o Tagalog o 'di ba?
oo.
Wala, pare.
Oo,
We played it all, man. So, but Charlie felt he was with a station that was established. He didn't want to move to a
mm,
station that was going to come out, pare.
oo.
So he turned it down, pare. And I do understand. I respect him for that, pare. I just felt
Mm.
he would have his style was more cut out for us, pare.
Naging
And then
newscaster
we,
ka, 'di ba? After.
nag
Nag-RJ, 'di
yan
ba?
sa 80s, pare, sa Channel
'Di
9,
ba?
pare. Yeah.
Oo, naalala ko.
Ako,
Nag-news
nag-apply
ka.
ko sa Channel 9, pare, dati.
Yeah. Nangyari?
Sabi yung manager sa akin, pare, "Hey man, we know who you are. You're a rock guy. You won't have credibility delivering the news, man." I was like, "Fuck that, man. I wear a different
Pare
hat if
ano,
I
yung
apply
ano mo,
here."
yung reputation precedes you pare kaya
Wala,
gano'n.
bro. It's bullshit, man. You can wear different hats, pare.
Tama, tama.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Okey.
they won't believe you because you're rock. I mean,
Mm.
come on, man. Well, stop all this stereotype. You should get people who can deliver the job,
Hindi, pero
pare.
kasi nung panahon na yun, eh, talagang kumbaga stereotypes talaga yung labanan, 'di ba?
Yeah, even kahit na yon. Pero, di ba? I mean, come on, man.
Oo.
I mean, give me the chance, pare.
Oo nga, oo nga.
I think I
Oo
can
nga.
deliver a decent newscast, pare. I'm not gonna be a Harry Gasser, pare. Di ba?
Oo.
Pero I mean, I think I can do it, man. If you don't meet me as a rock guy for the first time, I mean, not everybody knows I'm involved with the rock scene. I'm sure your audience will not know. Not
Mm.
everybody
Oo nga,
in your audience would know that, pare. Di
oo nga.
ba? Yeah. I can cut my hair if you want, man. I can ponytail it, pare. And back then,
Oo.
my hair was not really that long, pare.
Oo, 'di ba yung
Yeah.
parang ano, eh, yung buhok mo
I,
nun hindi naman mahaba, eh.
oh, di ba? See, so yun, that's it. And then we got my cousin, DJ Carlos, pare.
Mm.
Okay.
Oo.
He was wanted to do something in his life, pare. So I asked him, why don't you just be a DJ for a while, man? And then we got
Mm.
some other DJs along the way, but we had to get some new guys, pare. And that was
Mm.
it. And LA Rock was ready to run, but it was a good run, man. Joy. It
Mm.
was a good run,
Masaya.
man.
Tsaka kayo lang yung kilala ko nagiinuman habang nagbo-broadcast, eh. Naririnig namin yung clink-clink. Putang ina ba 'to nagiinuman, tangina 'to nagtatawanan, wala sabi ko, "Ayos 'to, ah." Tangina rock na rock talaga, 'di ba?
Joy, there was more than that clink clink, pare, but that was not for radio broadcast, pare.
Walang iya, buisit. Yeah. So, nag-cattle call na kayo nun, "Oh, sige padala kayo ng music niyo rito, wala kaming
Oh yeah,
bibigyan."
yeah. Because yeah, that's the excuse of most radio stations. There's not enough talent to play out there, pare. Or
Ah,
we need better quality recording. Makano yung mag-record ng isang kanta, pare? Mahal,
kinaka na
pare.
nakaranas nga lang ako ng tunay na studio sa'yo, eh, nung
Ah,
kinuha
ganun
mo
ba?
kami, eh.
Saan
Oo,
kayo
kaya nga
nag-record
nung
yung demo mo, pare?
ha?
Ilang track yun? Ilang track ng studio yun? 8 track o...
Hindi, yung malaki yun, eh, kasama natin si Joel nun, eh. So, malaki na, eh,
ah
sa
oh,
tracks.
no, no.
Yung malaking
So,
studio talaga,
okay.
mga
So,
32 yun, eh.
okay. No, that's when you recorded with me, but your demo, where did you record the demo that you passed, pare?
Hindi,
Yung
hindi kami
unang-una.
nagpasa ng demo, bro. Napanood ay, oo nga 'no, nagpasa kami ng demo para sumali dun sa parang
Di ba
parang
nag-LA Cup champions yun, di ba?
oo,
LA
tama.
Cup. You were one of the, you're in the top 10, di ba?
Yep,
Joy?
oo. Hindi ko na
Are you
maalala kung
sure?
saan
I'm
kami
trying to
nag-record.
remember, bro. I mean, it was a
Hindi ko
blur,
na naalala
pare.
kung saan kami nag-record pero alam ko, um, pangit na recording yun. Kasi yung tunay
O-
na recording studio na unang-una napuntahan ko, yung sa'yo. Kasi before nung LA, nag-record din yung banda ko before sa RG.
Okay.
Kaso yung alam mo yun, yung booth nila dun lang kami saksak diretso sa mixer, guitar to mixer,
Walang
parang
amp,
hindi
walang amp
oo, parang
diretso.
hindi namin na-feel yung hindi
Wow,
katulad
that's
nung sa LA, putang ina. Studio 'to, ganito yung gusto kong mundo,
yeah, we had and we
'di
got the
ba?
amps that you wanted, pare, di ba?
Hmm, tsaka
You
yung
have to
tunog, 'di
invest.
ba?
Yeah.
Yung
That was not
tunog
an LA
nando'n.
recording. That was you were, I think, recorded for Vicar Music,
Vicar
Corporation, man.
Music, Vicar.
So you either recorded sa Green Hill Sound Studio or
Sa
sa
Green Hill
Audio
Sound,
Optima, pare. Okay, Green Hill
sa
Sound.
Green Hill Sound, Green
Okay
Hill
yung
Sound.
acoustic dyan, pare.
Oo, 'di ba?
So, yeah, that's a long time ago,
Naalala ko pa
man.
si Joel Mendoza ba 'yun?
Nah, Joel is still
Yung tech
around, pare. Still
oo.
active, man. So, nasa Amerasian Studio siya na yun, pare. Ng
Tuwang-tuwa
Viva
siya nung
Records,
nakita niya
pare.
kami kasi nung dumating kami lang daw yung banda may dalang tuner. Yung mga nauna, hindi nagtono. Tawa ako ng tawa. Sabi ko, talaga? Oo.
Yeah, I remember. No, actually, I remember there were a lot of bands who didn't know their tone, and I would never tell them in front, no, kasi it's
Ah,
nakakahiya din. I would pull the
ah,
band leader over
ah,
and tell them like, "Hoy, pare, your guitar, yung gitarista mo, yung gitara wala sa tono. Baka you might wanna, tune it
mm,
first,
mm,
man. You
ah,
don't say it in front of everybody, pare, because that's a sensitive thing. But you're a musician, you gotta know your tone, man. You
yun
know."
nga. Kaya nga na-inspire kami kasi sabi pa ni Joel, yes! May tuner kayo? Very good! siguro, siguro na napapanot na siya dun sa mga nauna na
Uh,
nag-record.
Pare,
Tangina, putya
kasi
nakuha
your
niya na.
ears kasi are tuned to
Durog
listen to
yun.
perfect tuning, pare.
Oo,
And then you're
durog
gonna
yun.
hear something that's not tuned, pare. It's like, wow, man. It's like somebody farted in the room, pare.
Putya
Di pwede
naaalala
yan.
ko.
And all the more sa recording, pare. That's gonna be there
Oo.
for life,
Oo,
pare.
tama. Pero
So,
okey nga, eh.
going back, we had to call out for songs for bands to come in and submit their materials because that's the only way you're gonna start a Filipino music
Mm,
revolution, pare. You gotta
oo,
get the guys who are in the garage, man, the
oo.
backyard bands, pare. You know,
Grassroots. Oo.
yeah, the grassroots, pare, and see what's
Mm,
out there, pare.
oo.
And you have to consider, pare, that the 80s rock scene was not very strong. The Pinoy rock scene of the 80s was not very
Pero
strong.
yung 90s grabe 'no?
90s was,
Grabe.
iba kasi the record labels were
Oo.
signing them up. They were airing on other radio stations, pare. And you had two rock stations, pare,
Hmm,
that were
yung pa
playing it.
yung
Pare,
pa
alam mo, how did you feel, pare, when your song got played on the air, pare? How did it feel as a
narinig yun ng
musician,
tatay
bro?
ko, eh.
Oh,
Narinig ng tatay ko yun, eh. Sabi niya, kayo yan 'di ba?" Sabi ko, "Oo." So, okey din pala yung mga ginastos mo imbes na pinambili natin ng bigas,
pare,
pina-ensayo niyo.
as a musician, let's say as a radio DJ, my playlist would be Alice in Chains, pare.
Mm,
And then you had Black Sabbath, pare.
mm,
Then you had Smashing Pumpkins, and then your band plays. And then after your band plays, it's Pearl Jam, pare. Diba? I mean, your feelings like your song is being played with all these legends, pare.
Kumbaga
It's
magkakaroon ka talaga
I would
ng
be
push na,
proud,
shit,
pare, huh?
oo.
Diba?
Oo, talagang shit,
Imagine
gawa
being
pa
in the
tayo ng mas
playlist
maganda.
with that lineup, pare. I mean,
Hmm,
damn, you know, that does a lot. So that's basically it, pare. So it started the whole music revolution, and and right now, I mean, most of the artists that are touring the U.S. are all from the
galing sa
'90s,
inyo,
but a lot of them, man.
galing sa
Marami,
inyo,
marami,
oo.
pare. You
Tsaka
know, I
ano,
mean,
nakaka-inspire kasi 'di ba, yung halimbawa nung time na yun nag-start kami mag-band 'di ba, nag-aaralan namin instruments namin. Ta's may maririnig kaming song na alam mong hindi perfect,
yeah.
pero meron, parang, "Shit, nandun sila, kailangan nandun din tayo, puta hindi puwede." Yung parang gano'n 'di ba? Parang nakaka-inspire,
You
na
want to be part of that, di ba?
oo, yun, yung parang, "Shit, kailangan kasama tayo diyan, hindi puwedeng
Uh,
kasi sila nga, 'di ba? Sila nga, ta's dapat tayo rin." Gano'n. Nakaka-inspire, kaya nakakatuwa. Ta's ang dami pa natin naging kaibigan, 'di ba nung time na
yeah,
naggi-gig na, so makikilala mo sila, yung mga ibang kakilala ko, mga kasabayan ko nun hanggang ngayon nagpi-play pa rin, kikita-kita pa rin kami, tawanan 'pag nagkikita-kita, 'di ba? Ayan katulad nito, si Jessie ng Pentavia.
hey Jesse, what's up, man?
Sabi ni Jessie, "Who can
Oh,
deliver your junk?" Tapos si Paul Magat na nanonood
hey
din,
Paul, yeah, K and K, man. Hey Paul.
MK pare. Si Lovell ng Tubero, kamusta?
I love
Nanonood
those
sila
guys,
ngayon.
man. those
Hmm,
guys, those guys, those guys to better. The first time I saw them, man, I was like, "What the hell?" But fuck,
oo,
man, these guys, man. It's
oo.
fucking. It's like somebody threw acid in your face, but somebody like listening to Tubero. It's like someone threw gasoline on your fucking balls, pare, and
Tsaka
lit it,
ano,
man.
nag-base ako sa kanya for 1 gig.
One
Sabi
gig,
ko,
huh? Oh,
for 1 gig lang. Tapos may nagalit pare na pulis, parang
okay.
umiinom dun. "Pangit yung music niyo, ba't puro mura ang bastos-bastos niyo?" Gano'n, gano'n. Tapos si Lubel, hindi siya na-rattle, parang, "'Di lumabas ka, ayaw mo makinig, 'di lumabas ka." Parang gano'n. Astig 'to, tangina. Pero natatawa ako, may mga nara-rattle talaga, 'pag gano'n, nakakatuwa, Sino yung naalala mo yung mga unang mga bands na nagpasa sa inyo sa LA?
Um, dame, pare. Gee, that's a very good question, Joy. That
Yung mga
takes
unang
a
naalala mo?
well. I'm gonna start out with the after world music format, pare.
Oo,
Okay,
oo,
world
okey.
music was when the Filipinos were coming in. I guess the early ones during the world music format. I'll start with that because that's
Mm,
basically when we started playing the Filipino
mm,
music and
oo,
calling out. No,
oo.
the early guys, pare, was the youth, pare, was there. The youth. I remember yung alert level compilation lumabas, pare. So you had guys like
Sila
Rizal
Koki,
Underground.
sila
Yeah, you had
Koki 'di ba?
Color It Red.
Mm,
Oh, you had
mm,
Color It Red. You had Alamid was there.
oo,
Um, Tropical Depression was there. The Breed.
mm.
Uh, whew,
Black
um,
Mercedes-Benz.
yeah, Black Mercedes Benz. And then Reanimator, pare, was one of the early ones, pare.
Uy, last
Yeah,
year napanood ko pa
Reanimator.
sila,
Yeah, they
lumabas
sent us
sila
an
na-ulit.
early recording, pare.
Reanimator,
Gee, Reanimator was one of them.
Time Space Warp.
Wala pa yan, pare.
Hindi pa
Shakol,
yun?
pare. Shakol. Shakol was known as Shock Call, pare.
Okey.
Okay, this band from Dagupan that was managed by Pendong Aban Jr. They were called Basta. The guy on the
Basta.
lineup was Romy Babao, pare.
Mm,
He's a composer. He's a recording engineer also, pare. He's the brother of Julius Babao.
oh,
Um, they're from Dagupan kasi it's a Dagupan based
mm,
band. But wala na, they're disbanded. I think one of their members was Also included one session player of Asin.
Mm.
So yeah, that's what I can remember. But that's a damn good question. I wish I could, could go
Kasi ang
back.
dami na nun 'no?
Yeah, there's a
After
lot.
nun, pam, pucha ang dami.
And then when we
Naalala ko.
went rock, that's when
Mm.
the bands became younger.
Mm.
So slowly we had to ease out the other artists that slowed down the carriage because of their
Oo,
genre. We still
oo,
play them, of course, but not on
oo.
a regular rotation, pare.
Mm.
So we had to make our Pinoy rock programming closer to our foreign rock programming. I mean, it's
Mm.
hard to hear something like you have heavy guys, and then all of a sudden it takes a dive where you
Oo.
play a Gary Granada or a Jess Santiago
Mm.
song, pare.
Oo,
Diba? It
oo nga.
just
Oo nga.
wow, it
Kailangan
just
flow, kailangan yung flow.
it's the flow that you have to
Oo,
continue. Not to
oo.
say that it's just that it's not world music anymore, pare.
Mm.
So
Grabe
that's
'no?
basically it, man. So they all came, all demos, pare. Most of these bands are all from the backyard, man.
Oo nga.
And our role is as record producers. It was just a matter of transferring something that was recorded on 8 track to 24
Mm.
track. You know.
So, meron din kayong mga kumbaga tinurn down na tipong, this is hindi talaga puwede 'to dahil sobrang
Oh, there's a lot of syempre naman. You have to
oo,
also choose, but we were more
ang dami
understanding with
sinukat.
the quality, kasi bro, because you have to understand, pare. These guys are all new. As I said,
Oo,
mahal, pare. To go to
oo.
a 24
Mahal,
track
mahal.
studio at that time costs a lot of money. I
Mahal.
would average, bro, in the 90s at least. I was looking at the expenses, pare. At least 10,000 pesos per song, pare.
Shit,
Per
talaga?
song. Yeah, at least. And that band has to come in rehearsed, pare. Like meaning you do one
Oo,
one practice run in the studio, a
game na.
practice run which I will record because you
Mm.
might get something there that's good. I'm gonna
Oo,
keep it. Sometimes
oo,
the first take is the best take. You know,
tama.
and
Oo,
uh, and then after that, pare, you record right away. Don't come here unrehearsed and start practicing in the studio, pare.
tama, tama.
Come in rehearsed. Come in tuned
Mm.
and come in early, be on time because the studio
Yeah,
time once it starts, it's
tuloy-tuloy na 'yun. Mm.
tuloy-tuloy na yan, pare. So you have
Money
to
drips.
consider that's more or less, but it gives you an idea. But at least 10,000 pesos per song. That's with the mix. That's why sometimes in recording albums, I would record the drum tracks first because it's also
Hmm.
the rental of the equipment, man. Most of the equipment we would get are from this sound company that was providing my equipment. I would always tell him, please do not use this equipment for live. This is only
Oo,
for studio, pare.
yep.
Okay, I
Para
don't
hindi
want this to
madurog,
be used live. Siyempre naman, di ba?
madudurog 'yun, eh, mag-iiba talaga.
Yeah. So yun. And they would
Mer
also ask the bands anong klaseng amp you want. If they didn't have the amp, they would purchase it, pare.
mm. Grabe ano? Gastos
Yeah.
'no 'pag
No, because you gotta take it seriously, bro. You're doing this is your but you live and die. If you do a compilation, you live and die with this song, man.
tama,
And then you worry
tama.
about the follow up later, pare.
Mm.
Diba?
Grabe ano?
It's one song that can make it or break it for you, pare. Remember that, man.
Hindi, pero ngayon kasi iba na, eh. Meron na tayong mga liberties na, okey, mag-ano lang tayo ng single ngayon o kaya mag-record tayo ng 3 songs lang, gano'n.
Yeah,
Ta's
pwede.
marami ng time kasi katulad nito, may mga gamit kami rito ng mga kabanda ko. So, dito na rin kami nagre-record, alam mo 'yun? So, most of the bands right now dito sa Manila, halos gano'n na rin kasi siyempre lahat tayo may mga trabaho na kaya ng afford ng bumili ng gamit, hindi katulad
Yeah.
dati na talagang puro totoy lahat, eh. Hiraman ng gitara sa gig. Nice set, sir. Puwedeng mahiram yung double pedal mo. Gano'n noon, eh, 'di ba? Ngayon hindi na gano'n. Kailangan talaga may sarili kang gamit ngayon.
Yeah. And the
Ano
record labels
nangyari
are
ba
not really, yeah. Go ahead.
ano nangyari bakit biglang natapos yung LA? How
Well,
how how many years yun nag-stay?
well, Well, I was in LA for 11 years, but
11, no? Oo,
so you're
tama.
talking about from 1992. No, I was what I was there from 1990 to until 2001, but
Mm,
well, like what happened, bro, was a new scene was coming in, man. The boy bands, the girl bands. This was like what disco did in the 70s. The
mm,
disco thing was coming back, man.
oo.
But on a different sound, but so you have all this, Backstreet Boys, but you had NSYNC, the Spice Girls. That revolution was big, but okay,
Mm,
and
mm,
and slowly, um, the rock shows on MTV were slowly disappearing, man. You had MTV Headbangers Ball disappearing, man. I
oo.
mean, who the hell takes that show out? It's got one of the
Nagsisimula na
most
sila ng mga
loyal
reality shows.
following ever, pare, diba?
Oo,
And then and
totoo.
then Beavis and Butthead got canceled. Fuck, I almost puked, man, when I heard about that, pare. And then I was watching the music channels like MTV and Mix, and
Mm,
you got a problem when you got like how many songs do you play in 1 hour? 12, 14, 12 to 14,
mm,
12 if it's prime
oo,
time, less
yeah,
songs, more
oo,
commercials,
oo,
you got a problem, pare, when you see 10 out of 12 artists videos that are being played, pare, and two are only rock, pare.
hmm.
You know? You
Kumbaga
got a problem
nagbabago
there,
na.
pare. And then yung
Mm,
rock mo, pare, are the bands that are big, pare. Like U2,
mm,
Aerosmith, pare.
oo,
Diba? Offspring. I mean, these are just the established bands that they can cross because they're well known, pare. But majority was dominated by all this pop stuff, pare. And then of course it triggered everything, everything followed, pal. Of course, whatever happens in the US or in Europe,
mm,
pare, affects the Philippine market, pare.
market,
So and then payola, I mean not payola, but piracy came in, pare. The CDs that
hmm,
that were being produced were being pirated, pare. Diba?
mm,
So
mm,
everything just started collapsing. Less rock bands were being signed up. The record labels took it to a different format. They had to ride with this next wave that came in, pare.
oo,
And not only that, but I felt that we have drained the rock scene of rock bands who can still go on and do albums, pare. Eventually you drain it, pare. Diba? There were so many waves of rock
mm,
bands that were
mm,
coming in. You can see it by the number of albums, pare. But
mm,
it comes to a point that it's gonna end, pare. And the ones that will
mm,
continue are the matibay, pare. Like the
oo,
survivors of the apocalypse, pare. Who are the
mm,
survivors of the Pinoy rock holocaust of the 90s, pare? The ones who are standing solid today, pare. A lot of
mm,
bands have disbanded, pare. You know?
mm,
See, only the matibay, the strong ones, stayed on, pare.
oo nga.
So that's what
Mga
happened, bro.
established na talaga kumbaga,
Yeah.
yung mga
So
nakapag-establish.
and you
Pero
can't say um that we didn't do anything about it. We tried, but we saw what went wrong with DZRJ in the 70s, pare.
mm,
DZRJ was a pioneering rock station. They played a lot of stuff, no, but eventually they run out and they stuck with the old guys, pare. They stuck with Juan
mm,
de la Cruz, they stuck with
mm,
Sampaguita, with Freddie Aguilar when they were practically airing in all the radio stations, pare.
mm,
With us, I mean, we had our first batch, but
mm,
eventually, once they went to the other radio stations, we lessened the airplay. We still played them, but lessened the
mm.
airplay and started focusing on the newer guys that were coming in.
Giving
And
giving giving them more room kumbaga.
yeah, more room, pare, because the stronger you are, pare, the more powerful you are, pare. Strength in numbers. It will take a hard time to bring you down, pare.
Oo, tama,
See?
tama.
So I don't think we went down. I just think we were just placed aside, man.
Oo talaga.
And and you use that to survive. Pare. So
Mm,
the best is to take rock to the streets, take it to the live venues, pare. Take it to the audience, man.
oo. Yun
Besides,
din
who listens
maganda.
to the radio now, pare? Diba?
Tama, isa pa yun. Oo, ngayon puro
You
online
have
na,
a
eh.
choice. You have choices, pare.
Oo. So after ng LA, ano naman ginawa mo?
After LA 105, I joined a sound system business, pare. I
Hmm.
was in a sound system business called Surd Audio.
Mm.
Um, I was with them for like I joined them in the 90s, in the late 90s, to give
Mm.
myself a job.
Mm.
I was depressed. I got depressed, man. I got I was on a spiral, pare. I was going down because of too much drug abuse. You know, wife left me, pare. The only way
Mm.
I knew how to take care of myself was to,
Mm.
was going through there, and I was bottoming out, man. You know, it was really taking me down. Alcohol, everything,
Mm.
man. Depression, pare. The whole thing, and I joined the sound system business. I was writing a column for Pulp. I was hosting a lot of rock shows.
Oo,
I was
yun tama, nakakikita kita
That's what
sa
I did.
mga
I
big
took it to
stage
the
niyo.
streets, yeah, and that was the way to go. I stopped recording back in 1999,
Mm.
2000. I said,
Mm.
"Fuck this, man." The
Oo.
record labels didn't want to release it anymore. They didn't want rock anymore. All of a sudden, rock was not the thing,
Mm.
and no matter how much you tried to commercialize it, I mean, commercialize it and still keeping your respect, pare. It's not easy because your form of commercialize is not going to go through the bakya side, man.
Oo nga.
The bakya
Mm.
bakya side is for mga bobo at tanga, pare, di ba? I don't want to cater to that market, pare.
Oo.
Di ba? I'm sorry, I'm
Oo.
just being frank, pare.
Oo nga, oo nga, oo
You
nga.
want to be sikat in the Philippines, you have to be bakya. I mean, I don't want to go there, pare. That's not me, man. There are
Mm.
other people for that. They do it good, and I respect them for what they do. But that is not me, and I can't do it, man. There's a
Mm.
line I will not cross, pare. The moment I cross that line, I might as well not just do it, pare. You know.
Astig.
Okay, here's a question here from Glenn, man.
Mhm.
Ever consider working with NU, man? Well, I never told people about this, man, but I'm gonna break it right now on your show, Joy. Okay, this
Mhm.
is from Glenn G. All right,
Oo.
Glenn G. Thanks for wiring in, man. Yes, actually, I did. When LA was going down and LA changed formats, we were playing electronic music, man. We were called
Mm.
LA 105 The Beat. I
Mm.
didn't want to go on. I didn't go on as a DJ anymore. I said, I'm not going on with this. It was not just an all electronic station. They also played, pop stuff. And I said, I've had it with this. I'll just be your production guy. I'll just be the voice guy. So
Mm.
I did go to NU. I called the manager and I told them that that um the station is changing formats, but I still want to rock. And
Mm.
it was a humbling experience, man. Like I offered my services to them. I told them I still want to rock. If you guys need a rock jock, pare,
Mm.
to join your ranks, um, then I would like to make myself available. And I'm doing this because I still want to rock. I lowered my pride because I wanted to rock. I did
Mm.
not want to join NU, pare, because that was the kalaban, pare.
Oo.
But I wanted to rock. I wanted to go on, and if it's for rock, pare, and it's all about putting
Mm.
my ego down, I will, pare. But NU did not get back to me. They listened to me. They heard me. I talked to the owner and
Mm.
told him I was, and I was just sad because I mean I'm sure they probably had their reasons why. I don't know what those reasons are, man. But
Mm.
for me, being a radio DJ, and not to put myself on a pedestal or anything, but you're a rock station that's operating. You don't want the number one guy from rock para to work on your radio station. I mean, you gotta be kidding, man. It's like
Eh,
you have to look at it like a basketball player thing, pare. I'm not putting myself on a pedestal, man. But
oo.
you have to consider that, bro.
Mm.
You know, and I had my listeners, man. I was in the top 10 of the surveys, me and the ghost. So
Mm.
I guess these guys have the reasons for not, but I did consider it, man. Glenn, to answer your question, I did. And if I
Ayan,
sound
kung may mga tanong
emotional, it's
kayo kay
because
Doc,
if I sound
i-post nyo lang.
emotional, it's because I have never talked about this in public, man. I've kept this, but I did. I went to the radio station. I sold myself in
Oo.
a I sold myself cheap, bro. It's not
Mm.
that I did not have a radio station. I did have a job. I just
Mm.
wanted to rock.
Oo.
It was the end of the road in LA, man. Where am I gonna
Mm.
go? There's no other rock station out there, man.
Oo nga, sila
Everybody's
lang yung
playing all
option
this.
kumbaga.
Oh, everybody's playing this girl band, boy band thing, man.
Mm.
I don't want to do that, man.
Pero 'di ba, early 2000s, late 90s, meron ng mga nagpa-pirate radio, alam ko, eh.
Yeah, I didn't want to join those pirate radio stuff, man.
Okey.
I was not into that, pare.
Oo.
It's hard, pare, when you hit mainstream. It's hard to go back to where it all
Oo.
started. It's not easy,
Oo.
pare. It's not
Mm.
about it's wanting to reach a wider audience, man.
Tama.
You know,
Mm.
it's wanted to hit a wider audience because that's what you're here for. You know, to make
Mm.
more people.
Hindi mo nami-miss mag-radio ulit
Well,
or
I
halimbawa
still did.
mag-stream ka, meron kang option ngayon na mag-stream parang ganito.
Yeah, I thought about that. A lot of people say, why don't you do a YouTube channel? I've talked about it with Pulp Magazine, Pulp Live World, if they
Mhm.
want to do a radio show. It's
Mhm.
in the works. I mean, it's
Okey.
in the probably the planning stages. I've talked to Dutan regarding having something on their Facebook page. I want to be
Mhm.
attached with an
Okey.
establishment. It's not
Mm.
that I don't want to be, because it's hard, bro. Like what you're doing right now, it's commitment, man. You know, when,
Um, Actually, ginagawa ko lang naman 'to parang katulad nga lagi kong sinasabi 'pag may tatanong kasi yung mga naunang guest,
oh,
gano'n din tinatanong, "Ba't mo naisipang gawin 'to?" More on kamustahan 'to, tapos dino-document ko lang. Kaya kumbaga yung viewership, yung likes or whatever, insignificant sa'kin yun. Kasi, parang therapeutic sa'kin 'to, yung alam mo yun, habang naghihintay kasi you know what I do, animator ako ngayon, I've
okay,
been animating for 20 years na. So, sa trabaho namin, may job, tatapusin mo yung job, tapos maghihintay ka a few days to get the new
oh,
batch of jobs. So,
okay,
yung time na naghihintay ako, alam mo naman ako, pag wala akong ginagawa, kulang na yung pagkuulo ko. Kaya sabi ko, alam ko na, podcast na lang kaya ako. Yun. Tapos once in a while, may mga magre-record dito na ibang bands, nagre-record din dito sa studio namin.
oh, okay,
Tapos yun. So, eto, parang another outlet lang din. Which is, kasi, naisip ko na rin, madami rin akong kakakilala na interesting people.
yeah,
Hindi ko sila i-share sa mga hindi, di ba? Parang sinasabi mo rin, bridging the gap lang. Parang ganun. Para sa
yeah,
akin.
but that still requires commitment, pare. It's hard, pare, when you're in another country, man. Alam mo naman,
Hmm.
buhay America, you got to work here, pare.
Oo nga. Oo nga.
And then you have to consider the time zone, pare. Most
Hmm.
of your the market is back home, pare. Because
Hmm.
dito sa States, pare, yung mga Pinoy dito, mga mahalo-halo, pare. 'Di ba? Iba. When you
Hmm.
do a show here, you're not entirely playing to a rock audience, pare.
Oo.
You're playing sometimes to people who have never even heard of the music before, pare. You have to consider that,
Hmm.
man. So it's more challenging, pare. You know.
Pero, ang napansin ko lang, which is happy rin ako, na katulad ng mga in-establish nyo na nung 90s dun sa LA, ang isang kasing pinakamagandang nagawa ng LA 105, yun nga, naging accessible yung rock. Tapos, yung mga musicians ng time na yun, parang naisip nila na, kaya natin gawin to. Tapos, yung eksena, dun na-establish ng husto yung underground talaga. Kasi
Yeah.
hindi na nawala yun Simula nung 90s, 'di ba? Club Dread, Mayrix.
Oh,
Nawala na yung mga bars na yun, pero yung mga bands nandun pa rin,
nandun
tumutugtog
pa
pa
rin.
rin.
Oh,
Hanggang ngayon, kaya nakakatuwa. Yun yung kumbaga, yun yung legacy nyo ng LA Yung underground music is talagang kumbaga doon nagsimula. Para sa akin Kasi
Yeah.
I'm sure meron naman mga nauna, may mga mas matatanda ka.
Meron din, syempre
Oo,
meron din. It's just that, you know, that we studied where they fell, what mistakes they
mm,
made, and we learned from
oo.
those mistakes. We didn't have to go through there. If we fell,
Pero ang
it
dami
was
niyong
along the
genres na
way, pare.
binuksan, ang dami niyong
Yeah,
genres binuksan.
syempre, pare.
Kayo yung unang narinig ko na nag-ano ng Pinoy na death metal. Fuck, fuck, shit, meron noon game, 'di ba? Tapos may mga thrash, may power metal na
Yeah,
ngayon, 'pag umuwi ka, pupunta ka sa isang regular Saturday night gig sa
yeah.
isang hole in the wall na bar,
Oh,
makikita mo yung diversity ng music na ginagawa ng mga bata at saka ng mga musicians ngayon dito. Nakakatuwa, grabe. Kasi ibang-iba na talaga, hindi katulad dati, 'di ba, na merong certain bands na magkakatunog sila. Ngayon wala nang gano'n. Talagang sobrang individualized na yung tunog, kaya nakakatuwa. Tas yun nga, yun yung dun ako naano, kaya sobrang thankful ako sa ginawa niyo sa LA. Kasi yun yung nag-open ng door sa maraming katulad namin na talagang, shit, yung music na 'to may paglalagyan 'to. Hindi 'to ingay lang, eh, 'di ba? Tas yun lang yung piece ko. Tas lumipat
I
ka na
oh,
diyan.
no. I went to Baguio, pare, in
Ay, oo, nag-radyo ka rin dun, 'di ba?
yeah, kasi I sobered up from substance abuse, you know, back in
Yun yata yung
2002.
time na last na tayo nagkita sa Makati, 'di ba?
So
Yung
Makati, we
DJ
had
Basti,
yes, with
'di
Wolfgang.
ba? Basti,
This
oo.
was back no back was it no, it was Wolfgang, pare.
Yeah, Wolfgang yun.
Sa The Alchemy, pare. This was
Oo,
pero
sa Alchemy.
this was like 2014, mga ganon, no?
Yeah,
2015. Yes, that's the last time I
oo.
saw you, pare. Um I went to Baguio after cleaning up my act. I stayed in Manila for a while until 2005, and
Mhm,
then I moved up to Baguio, pare. I wanted to be with my children, pare. You know,
mm,
um, so I did that because you know part of was the guilt, you know, because of you know what drugs does, it destroys families, pare. You know,
mhm,
and I joined a country radio station. Um, well, they were known as Magic 99.9. Um,
mm.
and this was a religious station, but they were playing top 40. And they would play country music too, because that's, you know, the Baguio people like that, man.
Mm,
The natives, you know, like country music. But so I went there to interview the priest, pare. You know, he was his name was Father Lori. He passed
mhm,
away last year, um, but he I went there for an interview for Pulp Magazine. I wanted to interview him for the country music programming, pare,
mm,
because I found it iba, di ba? I mean,
mm,
it's the only station that was playing a lot of country music, pare. And you know, pare, country music is not going to survive in any part of the Philippines except for Baguio, pare.
Bakit
Okay?
kaya?
Well,
Bakit
the
kaya?
Americans, alam mo, go back to history, pare. The Americans built Baguio with the natives in Baguio. It was for their rest and recreation. It was cold, pare. You
Mm,
know, I mean, most of the
okey.
street names there are have English names, pare. If you look at the
Mm,
Philippine map, pare, the only English name of the Philippine map is Mountain Province, pare.
oo nga 'no?
Okay, and then
Oo nga 'no?
yung original name ng Baguio is Baguio.
Baguio,
Baguio,
oo, oo,
Baguio.
Baguio, oo,
From the not the rock band, but the original name of Baguio. But the Americans could not pronounce it, pare. So they called it
mm,
Baguio, pare. Okay, easier
hmm,
to pronounce, man. So they brought country music up there, bro. They brought
grabe
country
'no?
music up there, man. So it's part of the culture now, pare. So I interviewed the priest. After the interview, he asked me something about myself. So I told him that, you know, I'm in the, I used to be a radio DJ. When he said radio DJ, he goes, yeah. He goes, what else have you covered in radio? I said, can you do production? I said, yes. Can you do programming? I said, yes. I was program director for 99.5 RT, and you know when I
Oo,
joined them, you know, can you train radio DJs? I said, that's what I do. You
oo,
know, so he was testing me. He told me to write a script. He gave me a script. He told me to read it in front of him. So I was
mm.
like doing a live audition in front of this priest, man. And then after all that, pare, he goes, Ramon, I have been praying for a very, very long time for an angel to walk across, to come through this door to help us. And I
Mm.
believe that that angel came through my door today. And I was like, Father Lori, don't put your expectations very high,
Ah.
I'm not, I don't think I'm an angel. I think I'm a dark angel, I told him, and I'm here to disturb the priest, man.
Ang kulit.
I, so he hired me, pare. And of course, I had to face a different kind of programming, which is country music, pare.
Mm.
So I was like trying to get. I mean, I know some country guys like Kenny Rogers,
Mm.
James Taylor, which is more folk, just folk
Ah.
rock and country basically. But I
Ah.
had to get accustomed to the new guys, the new names, like Tim McGraw, Blake
Ah.
Shelton, you
Ah.
know, um, Tracy Bird,
Mm.
Keith Urban, So I had to get
Mm.
accustomed to all these guys, pare. And of course, when they do some country shows, pare, and you go to La Trinidad, which is next door to Baguio, pare,
Mm.
and then you go on stage and you look at the crowd, and a lot of them are pare naka cowboy hat, pare naka
Talaga?
boots, naka
Astig,
belt, pare. Oh, pare, talag. And then I would dress up
Pucha.
like a southern rocker, pare, because what we could play for countries, bands like Leonard Skinner,
Oo.
Molly Hatchet, 38
Oo, Molly Hatchet.
Special, Blackfoot,
Oo.
pare. So that's how I packaged myself, pare. All black, but syempre, you're trying to blend in, pare. Like
Mm.
my slogan was, "We're too rock for country, and we're too country for rock,
Rock.
pare." Okay, so
Astig,
you're there in between, pare.
Oo.
So
Okay,
it was a culture shock for me, pare, at first, but then after a while, this country music programming introduced me to a lot of more forms, because what I like about country is that they sing from the heart, they sing from the
Mm.
soul. It's from
Mm.
here, pare.
Mm.
So I started programming the radio station, pare. And I was with them for over 9 years.
May tanong ako. Paano yung paano yung process pag sinabing programming for a radio station? Ano yung ginagawa nun? Like typical.
Well, first of all, you have to start. You choose a format, okay?
Okay.
So let's say you're a rock format. So your programming, what are you gonna base your programming on, pare? So of course you're gonna base it on what gets played on the rock charts, right?
Mm.
So
Mm.
if you have the rock charts, let's say the current songs, let's say the songs that are in their, let's say the top 40, though
Mm.
that is gonna you're gonna use that as the main bulk of your playlist, pare. Okay,
Okay.
if you want to play modern rock mixed with classic rock, and then you play, then
Mm.
then the other songs are, let's say you have songs that were aired 6 months ago. You put it part of your programming. Songs from a year ago, songs from 5 years ago. Then you
Mm.
mix it all up. Pare. You have your own code on where to arrange these songs, pare. And then you have a clock. You have a programming clock,
Okay.
so
Tas
you can use different
magkakasya mo yun dun?
yeah, what songs are you gonna be playing first. Let's say I'll use RT as my
Mhm.
programming. We
Mm.
had a category called primary. Okay, the primary are songs that are usually played between 3 to 4 hours. So every 3 to 4 hours you're gonna hear that song played.
Mm.
Okay, then you have the those songs are like probably the top 20, pare.
Mm. Mga
Okay,
sikat talaga ngayon.
mga
Yeah.
sikat talaga that are
Mm.
still going up the charts, pare, that people request, pare.
Oo.
Okay, remember that format, pare, came from the jukebox. CHR, contemporary hit radio, came from two two guys who were sitting in a bar, pare, two radio guys, and wondering why do people drop money to hear their favorite song or the most current song being played on a jukebox. So they
Mhm.
got the program from there. They got the concept from there and made it to
Hmm.
CHR. Okay.
Mm.
So the song repeats, pare, because people want to hear it again and
Oo.
again and again,
Oo.
pare.
Oo.
Okay? And then you have your secondaries. These are songs that are probably outside your top 20, okay, that are coming in. So you have the secondaries. Those songs get aired between 6 to 8 hours a day, pare. Okay? And then you have new music, songs that you want to introduce to the audience that you feel are going to be chart
Mm.
hits, pare. You know, that are
Mm.
coming up, that are slowly entering the charts. This is new music, pare. That's, you can make it like once every 5 hours, man. And then you have your
Oo.
recurrents that probably get played once or twice a day. Recurrents are probably your old
Old
primaries of
stuff.
6 months ago, yeah, or 3 to 6 months
Hmm.
ago, okay. And then
Iniisip ko
you
ngayon
have,
'yan yung ina-explain mo ngayon,
yeah.
tangina 'di nahirapan ka nung nag-shift ka into country music.
No, I use the same programming with country music because they have their own charts also, pare.
Okey. Okey.
Okay.
Okey. Oo nga 'no.
Remember, we don't have payola, pare. Okay. So
Oo.
I can play whatever is based on charts.
Oo.
I don't have a program clock that says, okay, Sony music, next Warner
Oo.
music, next
Oo.
Ivory, next. I don't have a programming clock
Oo.
that reads like that, pare.
Meron ka bang payola ngayon, tingin mo?
I wouldn't know. I'd rather not even talk about it, man. If there is, it's probably really small, man. You know,
Oo, kasi
I
parang
I've never worked with it, pare. You know,
hmm,
as a DJ, pare, I never believed in payola, pare. Of
hmm.
course, it can help you. That's extra money for you. I mean, your kid could have gone to a better school. Your kid could have gone to
Wait,
school
so
riding a
ibig sabihin
car.
kung tatanggap ng payola, ang tumatanggap nun yung DJ lang, hindi yung buong
If the
station?
program director wants to share, pare, depende sa program director yan. Usually,
Oh,
the program director
okey.
will definitely share, pare, because he wants the DJ to push the product more. Parang sales lady yan, pare. 'Di
Tama,
ba?
tama, tama,
Parang
tama.
ganon,
Gets,
pare.
gets,
'Di ba? So
gets.
syempre that
Oo,
what hey, 30,000 extra a month is nice to have, right?
oo.
See?
Puta ang laki nun, a
Depends.
month?
Depends on how popular your radio station is, man. And you
Shit.
call the shots kung influential program director ka, pare. You even choose the single from the album, pare.
Oo, talaga.
You're given the album, you will choose the single based on your gut feel and your taste, pare.
Oo.
And the record label will release it, pare. That's how
Tangina.
powerful they are, depending again on what radio station you work for, man.
Kaya
Okay?
pala gano'n kasikat sila John Peel 'no?
Now I don't know how it works, but you know,
Hmm.
or I mean, as I said, bro, I've never really messed with it, man. You know, I was
Hmm.
offered, yeah, many times, just turn back the money, pare. You know, like in LA, I was offered, pare.
Hmm.
Ramon, would this be enough, pare, to make my song number one, pare? Puta, the guy came in with 50,000 pesos, pare, to make his song, to make his band
Daming
song.
boost
I
nun,
won't I
daming
won't
beer
mention
nun.
I won't mention the band, pare. But
Oo.
pare, they thought they can pay radio DJs just like that. I returned back the money. I said, man, you know, I'll play your song if I like your song. If you want
Mm.
to use this, you go through advertising, pare. Advertise your product, advertise your album. Then
Oo.
that's legal, pare. And then, of course, we decide if we want to play it, pare.
Yeah.
Okay? If I don't
Oo.
like your album, pare, then if it's something I'm not looking for, you can't even advertise because I don't want to promote junk or I don't want to call it junk. I don't want to promote something that I
Hindi
am
mo
not looking for, pare.
tama,
Okay?
tama. Oo nga 'no. Astig,
So, but it for me to play and commit to your songs and putting it to number one is a direct insult to me
Oo, kasi
because
parang
now you
may
think
price tag ka na. Oo.
you can buy any DJ, pare. See? And that's the
Oo.
problem with other DJs. They give us a bad name, pare. You know?
Hmm.
So that's it. That's my take on that, Joy, man.
Astig,
Now,
astig.
as a record producer, I might need payola
Mm.
because it's one way for my products to get aired, pare.
By the way, ano yung last na produce mo na music?
Well, right now I'm working with my I work sometimes with my brother-in-law and my sister.
Mhm.
My brother-in-law is a legendary Colombian Colombian musician, world music, pare.
Oh.
His name is Elkin Marin, pare.
Mhm.
So he's writing a lot of stuff. He's releasing a lot of stuff right now. So once in a while, I'm called in to listen to the song to add my input. Um, but I don't really have gone into production right now. This is all about, they're based in Barcelona, bro. So it's not that
Hmm.
I can be there
Mahirap.
physically, but they
Oo,
send me
mahirap.
the songs, I listen to it, and then
Mm.
I give my inputs, pare. So uh, it's currently happening right now. So this is the guy I'm working with right now is Elkin Marin, my brother-in-law. But
Dito sa
aside from
Manila,
that, sama wala, pare.
saan kayo
I
nandito
haven't.
nung nandito ka pa?
So I left production a long time, pare.
Ah, okey.
Yeah, I didn't want to go back kasi wala
Mm.
na. I mean, it was time to move. Um, I wanted to spend more time also with family, pare. I
Hmm.
was in Baguio. I was also supporting the local rock scene there, pare. I mean, Baguio's got a lot of great bands and musicians, pare. A
'To
lot
si
of
O'Neil, O'Neil
huh?
Cantares. Hmm,
Who's that,
bahista pa
pare?
yan. Bahista ng Kitchen Sink sa
Okay.
Baguio-based band siya, eh.
Oh, O'Neill. Yeah, yeah, I know him, pare.
Hmm.
Carantes, not
Yeah,
Cantares, dude. Carantes. Yes, yes.
Carantes, Carantes, sorry.
Yeah, he was in a band called Hunger Strike before,
Hunger
man.
Strike, yun, oo,
Yeah,
katabi
of
namin
course, of
before.
course. He's related to the guys from Baguio, pare.
Ah, talaga?
Yeah, because the Baguio guys
Oh,
are Carantes.
oo, Carantes.
It's yeah,
Nasa
not Cantares, pare. Yeah,
mali
okay.
mali ako ng basa, sorry, malabo yung mata ko.
Okay lang.
Sorry, O'Neil. Si O'Neil nasa ano siya, nasa Shanghai siya ngayon, musician.
Okay. Hey, O'Neill, man. Rock on. Thanks for wiring in. I didn't see you before I left. That's why you're in Shanghai, man.
Hmm. Si Tupe Domingo, sobrang insightful nito. Salamat
Tope,
dito.
Tope, pare. That guy, I love that guy, man. That guy designs all the shows that I do, pare, since,
Support for Pulp.
pare, no, in the US, pare. Tope is
Ah,
very well
talaga?
known in the US, pare, because he does the posters of all the shows I've been involved with, man.
Ay, in the future,
Yeah.
i-guest ko rin siya rito kasi marami akong
No,
tanong sa kanya tungkol
Topes,
sa akin.
pare, that's all. I make him kulit like almost like I stay in touch with him like every 2 weeks because we have a lot of shows now. But the
Ah,
last show I
talaga?
did, yeah, I've done a lot of shows here, but in the U.S., man. I've worked with Paulo Santos, pare,
Mhm.
Paul Sapiera of Rockstar.
Oo.
We worked with who's this guy from Asin, pare? Si Noy Piliora of Asin.
Mm.
Stephen Liu, Rizal Underground.
Oo.
The last show I did was like last month with Bowie Meneses of Parokya ni Edgar,
Oo.
pare.
Anong
Yeah,
banda niya?
Bowie Meneses,
Siya lang?
Franco, Parokya
Ah,
ni Edgar,
okay.
siya lang, pare. Yeah, he was solo, and I worked with this guy from Blackfoot, pare. His
Mm.
name is Jeremy Thomas. 3 weeks ago, we did a show together here. He
Mm.
was one of the former vocalist and rhythm guitar player for Blackfoot. Blackfoot is a legendary southern rock band. Their biggest hit is Highway Song, pare.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sige.
So Topet, I'll be calling you soon, pare. I got some shows, man.
Eto si Jesse sabi, "Sounds like a band we put up and managed for a while,
Oh
but
yeah,
still
yeah,
grows."
yeah. Yeah, Jesse, Jesse. We, I wanted to do a southern rock band, so I met with a very good friend of mine called Josemari Cuervo. But he
Mhm.
was the second generation vocalist of Razorback,
Oo.
and I wanted to put a band together. This is when everybody of my family left. I was all alone, and I was
Mhm.
very, very lonely. I had this empty nest syndrome, man.
Oo.
It was a horrible feeling. It was worse than drug and alcohol withdrawal, man. So
Mm.
I called Josemari and I said, let's do something, man. And then of course it was handpicking the members, man. So
Mm.
Jesse was one of the guys that I wanted to work with, man. He's a great guitar player, pare, from Pentavia,
Mm.
and he's a nice guy. I love the guy like a brother, man. And then we got JB Castillo of
Mm.
who plays with Contra,
Mm.
and he's also a session guitar player for Razorback. I mean, sorry, for Wolfgang.
Mm.
And then we had Kenneth Hunter on bass, pare, and Gobs Aswani of Mortal Grudge
Si
on
Gob.
drums. But that was
Oo.
Steel Horse, man. Yeah,
Stig. Ina,
that was
no?
that was a short run, but probably a year, man. It was a good run. It's hard. All these guys were members of other bands. I was based in Baguio.
Hirap nga,
Sometimes
no?
some members are not available. It was hard to get together, but it was a good run. I wanted to do something that was Southern rock, which was not,
Oo.
which is something I felt the Philippine lacked. The only other Southern rock band we had was Petrified Anthem of, but para that's a long time, 70s,
Mm.
para,
Oo.
that was in the 70s, man. Pinoy rock, para.
So ngayon, these days, ano yung typical araw mo?
Well, I wake up in the morning, para. I teach.
Mhm.
I teach English for
Anong
like
mga nationalities tinuturuan mo?
usually Chinese. When I was in Baguio, it was all Koreans, Japanese, Vietnamese,
Oo.
Taiwanese. But now it's the China market, pare. So I'm with a. I've been with this school for almost 5 years. I teach
Okay.
online, so I've been teaching
Mm.
all in all for 17 years, pare. So
Hanggang anong oras yan? Yung turuan?
um, usually from 8 to 10, pare, in the morning,
Ah, wala nang
and
iba?
then wala. No, then I go. I work for the treatment center.
Oo, oo.
Yeah, so I'm
Yung
there for
paano ka naman
9 hours.
napasok dun? Ano pangalan ng treatment center?
The name of the treatment center is Operation PAR. It's been around for 50 years. I felt I wanted to get a job that I could, that I have some background in, pare.
Mm.
So, being in recovery for 19 years, pare, being away from drugs and alcohol, and I was very active with the 12-step service work with AA and NA,
Mm.
Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics
Oo,
Anonymous.
oo.
We've brought meetings to jail. I've done my sharings with schools, with mga barrio communities, para
Mm.
share about your experience, strength, and hope. So I just felt that it's something that I could do, um, something that I mean, the people there are basically like rock guys. I mean, just different, and they are in
Mm.
their worst moments of their lives, and it's something that I can give back. And at the same time, it helps me stay in recovery because you have responsibility. It's not easy being
Mm.
clean and sober a day at a time, bro. You make that decision every day. Remember, I have a
Talaga.
disease of addiction. My
Mm.
disease wants to kill me. It wants me to
Mm.
use again. It wants me to drink again.
Mm.
So, in order for me to stay clean and sober, to get myself involved with projects like this, you know, and still, it's not a guarantee it will make me clean and sober. Don't think that 19 years is long enough. No, it's not. It's a day at a time program, man. You know what
Oo.
kept me clean and sober yesterday may not keep me clean and sober today, man. See,
Mhm.
so it's a day at a time, bro.
At least marami kang natutulungan,
And then
'di ba?
yeah, it works both ways. And at the same time, I
Mm.
have a regular job in the states. I mean, it's got good benefits, but you
Mm.
have to also consider that when you retire, but you got to have a pension, man. you
Oo nga,
know I
'di ba?
mean, teaching won't be forever. I don't want to be teaching forever, bro. Of course, and the rock and roll is there on the side on a smaller frame, pare.
Oo,
But what's
oo.
nice about all the hard work we've placed in Florida, along with some other guys here, pare,
Mm.
Florida has become a main destination for a lot of bands to tour. They're adding
Mm.
Florida as part of their tours already, as compared to before. Florida would be snubbed. you know.
Talaga.
But nowadays, para they're adding Florida, Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando, this area,
Kamusta naman yung turnout ng mga tao sa mga
much better, para much better.
talaga?
Much better as compared to before, man.
Nung
Lumalabas
pandemic,
na yung
kamusta
mga
ka?
Pinoy, pare. Well, it affected us, pare, for like a year and a half, pare. Walang
Mm.
show, pare. And then, this is one of the first cities to open. Kasi alam mo na, dito, pare, iba yung
Oo
governor
nga
dito,
eh.
pare,
Oo.
DeSantis, man. You know, this guy is gung-ho because he's a Trump
Oo.
guy, pare, you know. So, like, Florida's, like, become the wild, wild west, pare.
Oo nga. Tsaka
See,
sabi nila
so,
kahit naman hindi nagsara yung Florida, pareho din lang naman daw sa ano eh, sa mga nagsara eh. So parang what's the use? Ba't kailangan pa isara?
it's hard because iba yung mga kano para they feel that they have their human rights para it's against their
Mm.
right if you're gonna keep me at home, have me
Oo.
wear a mask. I mean, sometimes I find it a bit
Mm.
ridiculous para because hey
Mm.
man, you're talking about lives here, man.
Mm.
I mean, how hard is it to mask up, bro? you
Oo.
know
Iba eh, no? Iba sila pagdating sa
Iba
freedom
para.
nila eh, no? Talagang
Yep, because
passion, talagang
it's the
away eh.
land of the free and the home of the
Oo.
brave, but here, bro, the thing about the states, it's not like sa Pinas, pare. I can
Mm.
call you Joy. Let's say like I'm in Manila, I'll call you, hey Joy, pare, toma tayo mamaya, pare.
Oo.
Oh, di ba? Tana, di ba? Example lang, no? I
Mm.
mean, pare, let's go. Let's fucking do it, man.
Minsan nga
In
text
this,
lang eh, game?
di ba? Game, di ba?
Game question mark.
Or hey
Game!
Joy, I'm in your neck of the woods, pare.
Oo.
Huh?
Oo.
Pare, di ba? Let's hang. Dito, pare, walang impromptu. Dito, nakaplano lahat yan, pare. You have to plan everything, man.
Kasi lahat busy.
Everything has to be planned. That's what I don't like about here, pare. Here, you just have to work. You have to hustle. Because here, you can't screw up, pare. You know? But of course, it's a first world country. But again, I came here. The reason why I came here was not to work here. I came here because all of my family's here, pare.
Hmm.
And what's nice, we live in a radius of 5 to 10 minutes away from each other, pare.
Astig.
So every
Okay.
weekend I get to see them, pare. It's the reason why I came here, pare. So you have everything. You have the best of both worlds. You have family, you have rock, pare,
Oo.
and you have everything here, pare. Of course, you miss home. You miss your friends. You
Mm.
miss iba yung Pinas, iba pare. It's different, man. You can't compare it, pare. You just can't
Talaga.
compare it, man. You know, I mean, I was supposed to go back during Pulp Summer Slam 20, pare.
Oo, eh
It
kaso
it it got
na-cancel.
canceled kasi of
Oo, pucha,
the
di ba
the
ano yun,
pandemic.
pare? Iron Maiden
Iron
yun eh.
Maiden, man. I was ready,
Shit,
pare.
oh.
I cut the promotional items, pare, for Pulp,
Fuck.
man. And sayang,
Sayang,
sayang
no?
talaga,
Sayang
man.
yun, no?
It's like unfinished business, man.
No, kailangan bumalik ka
So
para doon. Kumbaga,
yeah,
gumawa.
let me work, put in more hours so I have a longer leave, pare. But I'm looking at next year coming back for a while, man.
Yun.
Yeah.
Sige, ayos
So
yun,
I
ha?
can I can I can disturb all you guys, pare.
Nakakamiss eh.
And you better
Ah,
be around, Joy, when I come back, man. You
oo
better be
naman,
there,
pagsasabihan
pare,
nyo lang
huh?
ako. Lagi
Okay,
naman
because
kami magkakasama na ito nila Jessie tsaka
I've
nila.
lost a lot of friends, pare. Well, the last 5 years of being here for almost 5 years, pare. I
Hmm.
mean, I won't be coming home to Pepe, pare. I won't be coming home to Wally Gonzalez, to uh, Noli Aurelio, pare.
Mm.
And some other
Ayun,
guys
oo
who've
nga.
passed on.
Oo
See,
nga eh.
it's sad, man. It's sad because you never
Yung
know when
first
it's
gig na pinuntahan ko after pandemic is yung tribute to Nolly.
to Noli, ah. Okay,
Oo, si Jazz. So, doon nakita ko doon si Scarlett.
okay. Yeah, she's
Myra,
very active, pare.
oo, sa Jazz. Hindi, tsaka
Yeah.
parang yun yung kanyang
Oh,
musical partner talaga eh. Okay naman, okay din. Masaya, tapos at the same time, medyo okay din. Ayun nga, nakakaano lang. Iba rin talaga si Canoli eh. Ano talaga eh. Ibang klase talaga siya.
yeah. That guy was in a different. He was a
Iba.
virtuoso, man. Yeah.
Ibang dimension siya eh. Pagdating
Yeah.
sa guitar. Kaya
Yes. Not
nakakalangkap.
only that, I've had nice conversations with him. That guy's, like when you talk to Noli Aurelio, but it's like talking to, it's pare, a lot of Pink Floyd, pare, you know?
Oo,
Wild,
oo.
pare.
Last na nakainuman, last na nakita ko siya, kasama ko si Paul Magat.
Oh,
Sabi niya,
okay.
"Ito, kayo, you guys, mga metal guys, minsan nga jam nga tayong tatlo." Ako naman excited na excited. Sige, sige, kailan? Kaso di naman nangyari. Sayang. Wala na.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ganun siya
Nolly's,
ka-open eh, no?
yeah, it's always, ow, 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 ow,
Awaw,
ow,
awaw, awaw. Kaya nung tribute niya, pag every after song, sigaw. Ang dami nga nila, no? Na nauna na.
Really sad.
Oo nga. Pero, well, ganun talaga buhay. May mauuna, may
Yeah,
maiiwan.
that's how it is, man.
No.
So we just go on, you know. I mean, I'm just gonna rock till the wheels come off, but you know.
So, yung promotion mo, yung mga upcoming shows na pinaplano mo dyan.
Right now, I'm just studying. Basically, there's a lot of artists coming in this year,
Oo,
pare.
open
Ang
na kasi.
dami, pare. You know, you don't want to
Oo.
compete against all of them. Um, you know, you have guys coming to Florida like Intro Voice. Well, Intro Voice are
Mm.
US based. You have True Faith
Oo.
coming in. It's a big tour. It's Intro Voice, True Faith, and there's Glock 9 that's there, and River Maya. That's a whole package.
Astig
For
ah.
for four artists. That's a good. Yeah, it's a nice package.
Mm.
You have December Avenue coming in. You know, you have
Mm.
Kamikazes coming in. You know,
Mm.
you have Six Cycle Mind. Ang dami, pare. Sometimes you don't want to compete. I don't do those higher level tier shows because it requires well more money, more focus, more concentration, a
Oo.
lot of hassle. But here, bro, you don't. I don't want to sell tickets, bro. You know, I
Oo.
don't want to start selling here, buy this, buy that. You know,
Oo.
like
Oo.
like like uh like last the last 2 weeks, but we had these are pop guys. Okay, we had Rachel Alejandro who was
Mhm.
here, and there was
Mm.
also Randy Santiago who was here last week. Okay,
Mm.
yeah. Now I don't really go to these shows because I don't. It's not that I don't like pop, but it's just that it's not my trip, man. You know.
Mm.
See, it's just a different audience, but see, but I'm
Tama.
just letting you know, it's they're making Florida a destination. They're adding
Oo.
it to their tours, but because the
Dati LA
people
lang
here
eh,
are
no?
slowly coming out, but
Oo. Dati
there's
LA tsaka New York lang, tapos uwi na.
yeah, or Chicago,
Mm.
but
Oo.
you know, but now
Mga
they're adding Florida. People are coming out more. I mean, there's a big Filipino community in Jacksonville. We have two Jollibees here, pare. Uh,
There you
I
go.
I have a Jollibee branch here, pare, which is like 20 minutes away, man. Pare,
Stig.
and beside Jollibee, pare, is Red Ribbon, pare.
Oh,
See?
talaga.
My Red
Magkaisang
Ribbon din.
company lang ata yun eh.
Before, sa Jacksonville lang yan. Gusto ka mag-Jollibee, pare. We drive 4 hours, pare. I mean, I
Tagal
would
na, no?
tell my children, we're going to go to Jacksonville just to eat Jollibee? Come on, man. And then and then and then the food doesn't even taste like the Jollibee in Pinas, pare.
Talaga, iba-iba.
Iba. Siyempre, yung hot dog, pare. You know, the hot dog that they use for their spaghetti, this doesn't taste like pure foods, pare. Yung tender juicy, pare.
Oo.
It's
Oo,
different,
iba yun.
man. Iba
Oo
yung
nga.
size ng burger, pare. Iba yung thickness. Yung chicken, mas malaki.
Astig.
Iba din yung presyo, pare. Siyempre, di ba?
Siyempre.
So,
Goes,
yun.
goes with it.
And all I know is that when I left the Philippines, it's like the prices have gone really sky up, man.
Mm.
You know, when I look at the prices now in the Philippines for food, for everything, parang, tangina, it's expensive to live there, man.
Pare, mas mahal na diesel kaysa sa gasolina dito.
Sa gaso. Wow.
Mas mahal ang diesel. Kaya kami
God,
mga
yeah.
bumili ng diesel na truck, fuck this. Bakit?
Yeah.
Pero okay lang. Ganun talaga. We survive. Tuloy-tuloy lang.
Yep.
Di ba? Music. Music lang naman magpapower sa
So
atin.
yeah, it's what kept me what got me insane before is what's keeping me sane now. I can't disconnect with it, bro. You
Mhm.
know, I just can't.
Mm.
It's a big part of my life.
Ano
And
yung
if I
favorite
can
sound trip mo
still,
lately?
ano, no?
Favorite sound trip mo lately?
Oh, gee, that's
Parang
another good
go-to.
question, Joy, man.
Oh,
Been
sige,
listening to.
ano yung last album na pinakinggan mong buo? As in yung umupo ka lang. Tapos, okay pa.
No, I don't have that luxury of doing that anymore, Joy, pare.
Talaga eh.
Yeah,
Sayang.
album, no, man.
Oo.
Voila, dude. Oh, it only like, let's say, if you do if it's connected to your promotion, you will listen to the songs,
Mm.
like like when we hooked up with Paul Sapira of
Mm.
Rockstar before.
Oo.
He was based in Hong Kong,
Mm.
and we talked to him about moving to the States and doing a tour. So I would be listening to the Rockstar catalog,
Pero alam ko naglabas
and
din siya ng bagong album yata
Arc
eh.
Asia. Yeah, I was
Mm.
listening to all his songs, bro. Because
Mm.
and then I had to talk to the I made a I had to talk to some of the people here, like what songs would they want to hear, what
Mm.
what songs should he sing, because the Paul Sapira of the 90s is not the Paul Sapira of today. Paul Sapira today
Oo.
is hard rocking, pare.
Oo.
He's got some heavy stuff, pare, that are very good. When he was with Rockstar, he had a lot of ballads, but then again, this guy was the king of the power ballad in the Philippines, pare. So we got a mixture of his hits, his new stuff, some deep cuts, and some covers, pare. You know. He's an awesome musician, fantastic.
Oo.
He's in Vegas right now.
Parang last week yata napanood ko yung interview niya sa podcast naman ni Per.
Okay,
Oo,
yeah,
kaya,
nice working. I worked with him for 4 shows, pare.
mm.
4 shows in Florida, man. He came back twice, kasi pare.
Stig.
Yeah,
Sila,
I did
nakakabiyahe.
2 shows in Tampa with him, one in Jacksonville and one in Orlando, pare.
Hmm. Talagang ano ka na, Florida dude ka na, pare.
Yeah, pare.
Pero
It
okay
it
yan,
it, gr- it,
pag
gr-
uwi
it
mo rito,
grows on you. No, no, no.
tambay
Babalik
tayo.
yan, pare. Oh,
Mm.
walang problema, pare. So, maybe next year, Joy, man. Mark it in your calendar with your blood, pare. Okay?
Sige. Sige.
All right?
Ayun. O sige, hindi na rin kita masyadong istorbohin.
Sure,
Baka
man.
marami ka
No,
pang
no, not at all,
gagawin.
pare. Thank you for guesting on the show. I mean, not guesting on. This is your show. This is not my show.
Old habits, pare. Ay, okay lang, kwentuhan.
Thank you.
Salamat.
It was
Salamat ha.
nice, pare, to
Nakikipagkwentuhan.
guest on your show, man. Joy, thank you so much, man.
Uh,
For the people who are watching, thank you for your time.
mm,
And hope to see you guys again. Joy, I'll see you on the fucking road, man.
yep. Sige,
Hail
sir.
and kill.
Salamat.
All right. Take care.